This is going to be a long one, sorry in advance for any formatting issues. I'm on mobile and honestly pretty tired right now, but I need to get this off my chest. So, I 28F, have always been the responsible one in my family. You know the type, the one everyone calls when they need something?
Yeah,
That's me. While my sister Katie on 35F and sister-in-law Megan 33F did the whole marriage kid suburbs thing straight out of college, I went a different route. Focused on my career, worked my butt off at this corporate place downtown, and honestly, I'm pretty proud of where I got myself. Like, I started as an entry-level analyst and now I've got this sweet corner office on the 23rd floor. Those 60-hour work weeks and missed weekends actually paid off. My desk has this amazing view of the city, and sometimes when I'm working late, I just take a moment to look at all the lights and think,
yeah,
I did that. But my family? OMG, they just do not get it. Every single family gathering turns into this weird intervention about my life choices. It's always, when are you going to settle down? Or, you know you're not getting any younger, or my personal favorite from Megan, I know this nice guy from church, he'd be perfect for you. And it's not just the marriage thing. They seriously act like my job is just this cute little hobby I do between babysitting their kids. Like, hello? I'm a senior project manager handling multi-million-dollar accounts, but try explaining that to Katie when she calls me at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday expecting me to drop everything because her son's daycare closed early. The thing is, I actually love my nieces and nephews. I've always been there for them, birthday parties? I'm the cool aunt bringing the best presents. School plays? Front row, taking videos. Sick days when their parents have important meetings? Guess who uses her precious PTO to play nurse? But lately, something's been feeling off. Like last month, Megan needed me to watch her kid because she had this super important doctor's appointment. Found out later from her Instagram stories that she was actually at a spa day with her friends. And she didn't even try to hide it, just posted those stories like I wouldn't see them. When I brought it up, she was like, oh, you wouldn't understand. Being a mom is so stressful, I really needed that break. And Katie? She's even worse with the whole you're single so your time doesn't matter thing. Last week she literally told me, it's not like you have anything better to do on weekends anyway, when I tried to say no to watching her kid. I was literally in the middle of preparing for this huge merger at work, but apparently that's not as important as her wanting to go shopping with her friends. The funny thing is, well, not really funny, more like sad, I used to be okay with all this. Like, completely fine being everyone's backup plan and free babysitter. I told myself it was enough that they needed me, that being reliable was its own reward, or whatever. Looking back now, I can't believe I bought into that whole thing. My coworker Rachel, she's like a work mom to me, honestly, keeps telling me I need to set boundaries. She sees how many emergency family calls I get during work hours. The other day she straight up asked me, when was the last time someone in your family asked how you were doing, and I couldn't remember. But,
yeah,
that's me. The reliable one. The responsible one. The one who always says yes. At least, that's who I was, because something happened recently that changed everything. And typing all this out is making me realize just how messed up things were. So there I was, literally drowning in spreadsheets for this huge merger thing at work. My desk looked like a paper factory exploded on it. I had like 6 different reports to finish and this massive presentation for the client next week that I hadn't even started yet. My phone starts buzzing. It's Katie. Now usually when I'm this busy, I let calls go to voicemail, but my sister has this thing where if you don't answer her first call, she'll keep calling and texting and calling again. So I picked up, trying to type with one hand. Hey, you got a minute? She had that fake sweet voice she uses when she wants something. Sure, I said, still typing. What's up? So you know Mom's birthday's coming up? I actually didn't know, because nobody tells me anything until they need something from me, but I just mumbled while trying to fix this formula that was messing up my entire spreadsheet. Well, we're planning something really special. Katie was practically squealing at this point, but we need everyone to chip in. She didn't tell me what this special thing was, But I was barely paying attention because this stupid Excel formula was still giving me grief. How much? I asked, finally getting the formula to work. When she told me the amount, I literally choked on my coffee. Like, full-on sputtering coffee all over my keyboard kind of choking. We're talking about more money than I spent on my entire last vacation. That's a lot. Oh, come on, you're the only one of us with a real career. The rest of us have families to support. There it was. The guilt trip. You're single so you must be rolling in money assumption. Like my rent in the city isn't triple what they pay for their suburban mortgages. Fine, I said, already pulling up my banking app. I'll transfer it now. You're the best. Katie chirped. Oh, and clear your schedule for that week. Don't plan anything else. I was in the middle of saying, wait, what week exactly, when she hung up. Classic Katie move. Over the next few weeks, she kept calling with these weird updates that weren't actually updates. Hey, just checking you got those days off? Yep, still need to talk to my boss about it. What dates exactly? Oh, you know, that week. Got to go. Or. Just wanted to make sure you're not planning anything else for. You still haven't told me the dates. Don't worry about it, it's all handled. Oh, Megan wants to know if you can watch my nephew tomorrow? It got to the point where even my coworkers noticed something was up. I was getting like 5 to 6 calls a day from either Katie or Megan, all being super vague about these plans. My work friend Tom was like, your phone rings more than our customer service line, during a meeting where Katie called 3 times. I tried asking Mom about it, but she immediately got weird. Hey, Mom, what's this thing Katie's planning? I asked. She froze for a second, then started fumbling with the dish towel in her hands. Oh. Well, I promised not to say anything. I'm literally helping pay for it, I pressed. Mom gave me this nervous little laugh. You'll find out soon enough, sweetie. Just trust me, it's a good thing. Then, in a complete subject change, she added, oh, did Megan tell you about that nice young man from her church? Even my cousin Amanda was acting weird. You're coming to the thing, right? She asked casually when we bumped into each other. What thing? When is it? Where is it? I shot back. Amanda gave me a playful shove. Oh come on, just say yes. Trust me, you'll love it. How can I say yes, when I don't even know what I'm saying yes to? I said, crossing my arms. She rolled her eyes like I was being ridiculous. Stop pretending, you totally know. No, Amanda, I totally don't. Her face dropped for a split second before she forced a smile. Well, you will soon enough. Then she practically ran off before I could ask anything else. I knew something was up. Like, nobody should be that weird about birthday plans, right? But I was so busy with work that I didn't have time to really think about it. Plus, there was this whole thing with my nephew getting sent home from school for turning his classroom into an art gallery. Translation, he drew on everything, and guess who had to leave work early to pick him up because Katie was too busy with her MLM stuff? Looking back now, I can't believe I didn't see what they were setting me up for. But I guess when you're used to being the family doormat, you don't notice when they're about to wipe their feet on you extra hard. But the whole thing finally blew up at this family dinner we do every month. Picture this, I'm already stressed out because I had to leave work early again to make it on time. I've got this massive merger presentation tomorrow that I'm nowhere near ready for, but Mom guilt-tripped me into coming because family dinner is tradition. The usual suspects were all there, Mom trying to force leftovers on everyone, Dad pretending to watch sports on his phone but actually playing Candy Crush, Megan doing her whole perfect Christian wife act, and all the kids running around like tiny tornadoes. I'm sitting there trying to secretly check work emails under the table when Amanda goes, oh, did you bring your planner? We need to check some dates. Before I could answer, Katie does this super obvious fake cough thing. The whole room goes quiet so fast you could hear one of the kids trying to sneak extra cookies in the kitchen. Actually, Katie says, standing up like she's about to give a speech at the Oscars, we have an announcement about Mom's birthday. Everyone's looking at each other with these weird smiles. You know those smiles people have when they know something you don't?
Yeah.
Those ones. We've booked a week at Pine Valley Lodge. Katie says, all proud of herself. All expenses paid, full resort experience. Everyone starts cheering and congratulating Mom. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there doing quick math in my head about how much of my money they spend on this without even telling me. Then Megan pipes up with her sugary sweet voice that she uses when she's about to say something mean, and you're so amazing with the kids, they're going to love having you watch them for that week. I literally stopped mid-bite. I'm sorry, what? Oh, don't worry, Katie jumps in. We've got it all planned out. You can use the little cabin behind the main lodge. It's got a mini fridge and everything. The kids are so excited to have a whole week with Auntie. Megan adds. I put down my fork. Guys, I can't take a week off. We have this huge merger happening. Oh, that work thing? Katie waves her hand like she's swatting away an annoying fly. Just reschedule it. Reschedule? Are you serious right now? Well, Megan says with that look she gets when she's about to say something particularly awful, it's not like you have actual responsibilities like we do. Your job is just, a job. I stared at her, this woman who I've helped literally hundreds of times, who calls me at least twice a week to watch her kids, who once made me cancel a client meeting because her kid had an emergency, he wanted McDonald's and she was too tired to take him. My job pays my bills, I said slowly. And apparently your vacation too. Don't be like that, Mom jumps in. We're family.
Yeah.
Katie adds. And you're so good with the kids. They won't behave for anyone else like they do for you. Fun fact, they don't behave for me either. Last time I watched them, one of them used my work laptop as a canvas for his finger painting phase, and the other tried to feed my phone to the toilet. But sure, they're angels with me. If you want me to watch 5 kids for a week, I said, you need to pay me. They all looked at me like I just suggested we should sell the children to the circus. Pay you? Megan actually clutched her pearls, like, physically grabbed the necklace she wears to show everyone how proper she is. We're family.
Yeah.
I said, family who took my money for a vacation I'm apparently not even going to get to enjoy. But you wouldn't enjoy it anyway, Katie says, all matter of fact. It's not like you have a husband or kids to spend time with. You'd just be working on your laptop the whole time anyway. That's when Rachel, who had been quietly watching this whole disaster unfold, finally spoke up. Do you guys even hear yourselves right now? She has a career, a successful one. You can't just expect her to drop everything because you don't want to pay for childcare. But she loves watching the kids. Megan protested. I love my nieces and nephews, I corrected her. That doesn't mean I want to be their unpaid nanny while you all go skiing. Well, I think you're being very selfish, Mom said in that quiet voice she uses when she's really mad. After everything we've done for you. Everything you've done for me? I couldn't help laughing. Like what exactly? Taking my money? Volunteering me for things without asking? Making me feel bad about my life choices? The room got real quiet. I think they didn't expect me to say no at all, it was actually my first time rejecting what they asked. But I just sat there for a minute, staring at them like they'd all lost their minds. The absolute audacity of these people, expecting me to give up a week of my life to watch their kids while they went on vacation with my money. I could feel my face getting hot. You know that feeling when you're so mad you might actually explode? Okay, I said, trying to sound reasonable. I pulled out my work laptop. Let's talk actual numbers here. You want me to watch 5 kids under 7, 24/7 for an entire week. The going rate for a nanny in this area is $25 per hour for one kid plus $5 for each additional kid. That's $45 per hour for 24 hours, 7 days. That's about $7,560. Along with the money I already paid for the trip. You would have thought I suggested selling their children on eBay. Megan actually gasped. Katie started laughing like I told the funniest joke ever. Mom just kept shaking her head with that disappointed look she's perfected over the years. We're not paying you to spend time with your own nieces and nephews. Katie said, still laughing. That's ridiculous. So you admit it's a job? I said. A job you don't want to pay for? It's not a job when it's family, Megan insisted. We watched each other's kids all the time growing up. Katie added.
Yeah.
For a few hours after school. Not for a whole week while everyone else goes on vacation. I walked out right then and there, ignoring their calls behind me. As I got in my car, I could see Rachel giving me a thumbs up through the window. At least someone in this family gets it. I drove home that night feeling strangely light. The next morning, I booked myself a fabulous trip to Spain, for the exact same week as their family vacation. I used the emergency fund I'd been keeping for their inevitable family emergencies. First-class flights, luxury hotels, food tours, art museums, everything I'd always wanted to do but never did because someone always needed something more important. When they found out, well, that's another story. Let's just say my phone hasn't stopped buzzing since then. Update 1, it's been a month since my last post, and wow, did things escalate. First, thank you all for the supportive comments on my original post. You guys really helped me see I wasn't crazy for standing my ground. Let me start with how my Spain trip went before diving into the family drama that unfolded while I was gone. I turned my phone off the moment I boarded the plane, and it was like this weight I didn't even know I was carrying just lifted off my shoulders. First time in years I wasn't accessible for family emergencies. Spain was absolutely incredible. I did everything I wanted without having to check my phone every 5 minutes or worry about someone's kid needing an emergency pickup. I took naps in the middle of the day just because I could. Spent 3 hours in the Prado Museum without a single interruption. Had dinner at actual adult restaurants where nobody threw food or had a meltdown over the wrong color cup. I even met this charming British businessman, Dave, 32M, at my hotel's rooftop bar. We ended up having dinner together a few times. Nothing serious, but it was nice to have an adult conversation that didn't revolve around children or MLM schemes. He actually asked about my job and thought it was impressive instead of treating it like some cute little hobby. But while I was living my best life in Spain, apparently all hell broke loose back home. My cousin Amanda, who's actually started speaking to me again recently, filled me in on everything I missed. The day they discovered I was really gone, like, actually on a plane to Spain, Katie had what Amanda described as a complete meltdown at their pre-vacation family meeting. Apparently, she'd already told all the other moms in her MLM group about this amazing business retreat she was planning during the vacation. She'd been planning to use the time to expand her downline while I watched the kids. Megan, meanwhile, went into full church lady mode. She started telling everyone at her Bible study group about how worried she was about my spiritual well-being and how Satan was clearly influencing my priorities. Yes, apparently Satan's latest scheme involves encouraging people to take self-funded vacations instead of providing free childcare. But it gets better. They actually tried to get Rachel, my work mentor who stood up for me at the dinner, to tell them where in Spain I was staying. Rachel, absolute queen that she is, told them she'd only give them that information if they agreed to pay the full nanny rate I had calculated, plus an international travel surcharge. She said Megan's face turned so red she thought steam might come out of her ears. The real drama started when they realized they'd have to actually pay for childcare. They tried everything, guilt-tripping other family members, posting desperate pleas on neighborhood Facebook groups, even trying to rope in some teenagers from Megan's church youth group. But apparently, nobody wanted to watch 5 kids under 7 for a week for exposure and family bonding experience. They finally found a professional nanny service, but here's the kicker, the service quoted them even higher than my calculation. Something about multiple child discounts only applying to siblings, and holiday rates. Katie actually tried to argue with them about how family rates should apply because we're like one big family here. The agency hung up on her. The nanny they eventually hired quit after 2 days. Amanda sent me the screenshots of the agency's report, unprofessional environment, lack of parental boundaries, children completely unsupervised outside of designated childcare hours. Turns out, Katie and Megan had been treating the professional nanny exactly like they treated me, expecting her to be on call 24/7, trying to add tasks that weren't in the contract, and refusing to come back from their activities when they were supposed to. Meanwhile, Mom had gone into full martyrdom mode. She started posting these passive-aggressive Facebook statuses about modern children who don't respect family values, and sharing articles about the emptiness of success without family. She even joined some Facebook group called Praying for Our Prodigal Daughters, and kept posting about how some people let money and career corrupt their hearts. Dad, surprisingly, has been quietly supportive. He sent me a private email, his first ever. He usually just plays Candy Crush on his phone, saying he was proud of me for standing up for myself. Turns out, he's been feeling pretty steamrolled by the family dynamics himself, but never knew how to speak up. But the situation really exploded when Megan took things to a whole new level. Remember how she's always been about maintaining her perfect Christian image? Well, she started spreading rumors at her church that she was deeply concerned about my mental health. She told people that my sudden refusal to be part of the family and erratic behavior, apparently, booking a vacation is erratic now, were signs of some kind of breakdown. It didn't stop there. She actually suggested to her prayer group that they should consider calling Child Protective Services because my unstable behavior might make me unsafe around children. Yes, you read that right, she wanted to call CPS because I refused to provide free childcare while they went on vacation. That's when I decided enough was enough. Remember my work friend who's a lawyer? She helped me draft a cease and desist letter. The look on Megan's face when she got served at her precious Sunday service? Priceless. Apparently, she had to explain to her whole congregation why she was receiving legal documents at church. The letter was pretty straightforward: stop spreading defamatory statements about my mental health, stop threatening to make false reports to CPS, and cease all attempts to harass me at work. Oh.
Yeah.
They'd been calling my office pretending to be clients. The best part? We included screenshots of all their messages, social media posts, and a detailed log of their harassment. Katie's reaction was to double down. She started posting these long rants on Instagram about toxic family members, and how some people let success go to their heads. But here's the thing about social media rants, they tend to backfire. Her MLM upline saw her posts and apparently wasn't too happy about one of their boss babes publicly melting down over childcare issues. The aftermath? Katie's precious MLM empire started crumbling. Turns out, it's hard to maintain your image as a successful businesswoman when you're publicly complaining about not being able to afford childcare. Her downline started jumping ship, and her upline put her on some kind of performance improvement plan. Megan's reputation at church took an even bigger hit. After the cease and desist letter incident, people started asking questions. Some of her prayer group friends reached out to me privately, and I simply shared screenshots of her messages threatening to call CPS because I wouldn't babysit. Suddenly, her perfect Christian image wasn't so perfect anymore. But here's where it gets really interesting. Remember Dave, the British businessman I met in Spain? Well, we kept in touch after I got back. He was actually in town for business last week, and we had dinner. Unlike my family's church setups with nice young men who'd make good providers, Dave is actually interested in my career. He asked intelligent questions about the merger I was working on and shared some fascinating insights from his own industry. We're taking things slow, but he's already shown more respect for my time and career than my family ever has. When I mentioned I might have to cancel our dinner plans because of a work emergency, he didn't guilt-trip me or call my job just a hobby. Instead, he offered to reschedule and sent me some great takeout from my favorite restaurant so I wouldn't have to work hungry. Speaking of work, remember that merger I was preparing for when this whole drama started? It was a massive success. My boss actually mentioned in our last review that I've been performing even better since I started setting boundaries with my family. Turns out, not having your phone blow up with emergencies every hour helps your work performance. Who knew? Rachel and I have gotten even closer through all this. We do weekly coffee dates now, and she's been sharing some interesting family history that explains a lot about why my sisters are the way they are. Apparently, their perfect marriages aren't so perfect, and their desperate need for free childcare might have more to do with their financial situations than they let on. I've also started doing things for myself that I never had time for before. Took up painting classes, redecorated my apartment, and even adopted a cat. Her name is Paella. Yes, I named her after Spanish food, don't judge. She's much better behaved than my nieces and nephews, and she only wakes me up at 3 a.m. when she's feeling particularly spicy. Mom is still sending me those guilt trip articles about finding balance and the importance of family, but I've learned to use the mute button liberally. Dad has started secretly liking my Instagram posts from Spain, though he unlinks them quickly, probably before Mom notices. The best part? I'm actually happier than I've been in years. My calendar is full of things I want to do instead of family emergencies. The only baby I take care of now is my sourdough starter, okay, and maybe Paella, she's kind of a baby. Dave and I are talking about taking a trip to Portugal in the spring, and for the first time, I'm planning a vacation without having to check 20 people's schedules first. Sure, family gatherings are a bit awkward now. But I'd rather have awkward dinners where I'm respected than comfortable ones where I'm taken advantage of. Plus, it's amazing how quickly people adjust their behavior when they realize their free childcare gravy train has left the station. Oh, and those family members who said I'd regret pushing away my family and choosing career over relationships? They're surprisingly quiet now that they see me building genuine relationships with people who respect my choices and boundaries. Looking back at my original post, I can't believe how much has changed in just a month. I went from being everyone's emergency backup plan to being my own priority. It's not always easy, standing up for yourself never is, but it's absolutely worth it. And to think, this all started because I decided to go to Spain instead of being an unpaid nanny. Sometimes the best way to fix a toxic family dynamic is to book a first-class ticket out of it. By the way, Dave says hi, turns out he's actually a Reddit user and found my original post. Kind of awkward, but cute, right?